welcome to Man in the Sands Pub Christmas edition. Ho, 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 we're with you. Okay, I'll keep this short. We do not want to have you away from your family for a long time at Christmas. So what are we looking at today? Because this is my Christmas hat for the Christmas special. We are looking at the usual. The usual is 3 glasses, ice, water, neat and naked as nature intended. That's the 3 amigos. We obviously always have the mistress and we have the padre with the Holy Spirit. So what could be more festive than to drink a whiskey named LaSanta? This is the Glenmorangie LaSanta, a 12-year-old, 43%. It is not peaty. We've moved away from Series 2, the peaty series. This is a festive special, in case you hadn't noticed. So I'm going to keep it short. We're not going to get into the history of Glenmorangie, but it has been around since the 1800s. It is very well known for having the longest stills in Scotland, or it would be affectionately termed to giraffes. And something else you need to be aware of is that through the environment, the water process picks up the earthiness and the water content going through the grasslands and delivers that into the flavour as well of the whiskey. It's very well known for it. Now, this Glenmorangie LaSanta, it has gone through a 12-year maturity process. Now, what you need to understand is that the casks that Glenmorangie use are bourbon casks. They are sourced from the Ozark territory in the US. They are loaned to Jack Daniels for 4 years, then returned. The whiskey is then matured and distilled in those casks for 10 years. Then, for the last 2 of the 12 years, they are moved into sherry casks, influenced by the oloroso and the Pedro Ximenez casks of the Jerez region in Spain. Now, 2 years means that they are influenced, they're not dominated by them. So that really sums up the facts and the background to what we're drinking today. Previously it used to be 46%, recently dropped to 43%. So having not tasted the 46, I can't compare that for you, but I can do what we always want to do, which is taste with each other and go on that journey. So without further ado, and Merry Christmas everybody, hats off, game on, woohoo! Alrighty, so let's see what happens. Beautiful sound, neat and naked as nature intended. Awaiting the padre. Remember, I've been doing this since Series 2, not adding the padre in advance for 10 minutes, but doing it with you as we go along. And on ice. Thank you, my friend, thank you. Now, next year, in the new year, I will taste more whiskies, including Glenmorangie, and I will go into more of the history, more of the knowledge, and also the master distillers. But here we are. So let's get cracking. First, we have the padre. I'm so excited, Santa's coming. La Santa is here, but Santa's on the way. I hope if you celebrate this season, or if you're happy to be festive and in the mood, that you're having a wonderful festive period. So where do we start? Well, let's start with neat and naked as nature intended. If you wanted to reflect on the last video I did, you will see immediately what I termed there, very different texture, substance, thickness, heaviness, compared to the last whiskey that I tasted, the Optimal. Now, sweet, a little bit of the alcohol goes through. I've nosed stronger whiskies with less alcoholic impact and the flaring of the nostril. Right. Immediately, it actually is a bit festive for me. I'm thinking of that raisin. I'm thinking of the cereal notes. bit of spice. To wherever you are, may you be blessed. Wow, interesting. The volume, 43%, stays with me a bit far. Ooh, there we go. Whew. Bit of a burn there. That took a little time, didn't it? But it's there. It just sort of poof. Now, my tongue was fizzling. The insides of my mouth felt the strength of the whiskey, but there was a smoothness to it. And as that flowed down, I thought, wow, my tongue's a little bit on fire, which is just purely down to the palate that you have. But I could taste it on the tongue, and I purposely always keep it at the front of my mouth for longer than perhaps you ever would. And the smoothness went down. But if I'm not mistaken, again, festive marmalade. I have marmalade in my mouth. Gosh, it's there. And there's a finish, it's a good finish. Not bad at all. I'm going in again. You can taste with your mouth, there's almost a dry oak feeling. It's slightly dry, it doesn't remain moist with it inside. And yet it's subtle. On the second drinking, there's no burn, it glows. So it's not adding to that initial, ooh, what's that? It doesn't irritate, it's still glowing very much down here. So you've got a winter fire. And at the same time, you're feeling that you want to have some dried fruits. It has that dried fruits that you'd get out of a Christmas cake. It certainly has that with a marmalade taste. Gosh, we're even going down, aren't we? The Dundee cake type of tasting. And there is, for me, a remnant of raisin. I wasn't sure if I was going to say plum, but I'm going to go with raisin. It's drier. Maybe that's the influence of the dry oak. Well, that's a lovely drop, and it is festive. I must say this is a lovely festive drop. Okay. Over to the Padre. Cheers. Oh, changes. Now, what's it been, 5 minutes? Changes completely. Oh yes, I'm going back in, hello. Subtle, no burn. Suddenly that does sort of give you a little hug, Christmas hug. You know, like a bear, when someone hugs you and suddenly when they release, almost like a mother's love, you can still feel the embrace. And that's what this does. Perfect at this time of year, especially during this COVID period where we all want to be with each other and having a hug. And this whiskey gives you that. But it's a wonderful embrace. It's not a shock. It's a long embrace. It's still there. The finish is there. It's smooth in the mouth. But the thing that's shocking me, and you may have heard us talking about the raisin and the marmalade, the dry oak has dissipated with the water. You don't feel it as much for obvious reasons. You know, the water is there and it smoothed it, but it is there. But my goodness, if this doesn't have a berry touch, a lighter fruit, yes, it has the dry fruit, but a light fruit, something a berryish, almost want to say a jam taste to it. It's in the finish and it lingers in the back of the mouth and onto the tongue. And suddenly you ask yourself, what is that? And it feels like a jam almost. Isn't that bizarre that the water brings that out? Now, the tasting notes refer to a raspberry coulis. Now, maybe that's what I'm tasting when I say a jam, but for me, it's not as tart as raspberry. It certainly is like a coolie. I can recognise that. But for me, it's a jam. Oh, it's lovely. It's got a bit of, if you want to say, you know, that sugary taste you can get from a jam, but a lovely subtle, not a proper jam, homemade. Oh yeah. Well, game on. Now let's try this baby. Ice. No, gone. Doesn't work for me. It's taken all the pleasure I just had out of these two. So what am I left with? Well, if you want something that's going to lift you up with immediately and give you a bit of a kick to say, welcome to the fire, welcome to Christmas, then this is the one for you. Fantastic. Really, it is. And it lingers in the back of the mouth, still fizzing on the tongue. But it's going to be a bit sharp for those with a less mature palate or who are not used to drinking over 40% of a whiskey that still has that sort of alcoholic taste to it. And since it's Christmas and we're all about inviting everyone into the home and sharing, traditionally, if not because of this COVID period, inviting everyone in and giving everyone an opportunity to enjoy what we have on the table and in the house and not insist on something that we like, I'm going to recommend you drink this with a drop of the Padre. And again, the reason for that, on the nose, it's sweeter. That's probably, you could actually almost recognize the marmalade on the nose. And the palate takes away the dry oak. It lessens that alcoholic impact, and it gives a wonderful lingering family hug, mother's hug. In fact, if anything, this reminds me very much of a good friend of mine. At his wedding, his mother gave me just such a wonderful hug of love, and when she left, I felt she was still hugging me. It was amazing, absolutely amazing. A nod to you, Tinu. So, to all of us, Merry Christmas. Whether you celebrate or not, may the spirit of happiness and family be with you this time. And please do come back and join me for the new year. I throw my hats away. So all I can say to you is, thank you for sharing the journey so far. Please do click like if you like the video. I'm getting a lot of great comments back, but no one's clicking like. We need likes for me to support this growing. And share if you think it's worth sharing. And subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Please do. And in 2021, we're going to have a wonderful series 4, 5, 6. I've already got it lined up. I can't wait to share it with you. But until then, like me, enjoy the family time, enjoy time for yourself. Stay safe, stay healthy, be good to each other. And please share your comments with me at Man & Sense in the Pub. We are a family. Thank you. Take care. Until the next time.